And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. There are a few factors that can take digs at your mental health, like anxiety or not sleeping enough. These days, a top concern for people, of course, money. This, according to a new survey, more than 50% of people reported money concerns as the biggest detriment to their peace of mind. Let's talk about it. Joining me now here on The Factor, therapist, Saudi attorney, University of Houston downtown professor, Dr. Dietrich von Biedenfeld, and radio and podcast host, Layla E. So, Layla, you're rich, right?
Oh.
And there's no concern about money in your life.
Oh, not at all.
You living that glamorous life.
Hey. No, not at all. I think, especially with the way that the economy is hitting us now, it's getting to a point that we really aren't living in a too comfortable space that we used to years before. So even if it's the gas prices going skyrocket, right? You limit where you're gonna go, right? Now with groceries, there's some things that I'm just like, I'm okay with. So maybe I can lose some weight in this process because my mental health is struggling, you know? So it definitely, in all seriousness though, there are a lot of people out there, especially single parents, that are really feeling it. I've talked to some friends that I have. A lot of them are suffering from a lot of depression. They don't know how they're gonna make it. They don't know what their next move is. They're working 3 jobs, which is taken away from their children. That's quality time. So this is a really stressful time for a lot of people.
And would you guys point to the economy? Would you point to interest rates? Would you point to inflation for the major concerns that you guys have as young people dealing? I mean, old ass people got money problems too, but we're talking about you guys now.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of all 3, but I think inflation is what is like the top of what's going on right now. There's no reason why a lady in front of me at the grocery store has to choose between milk and eggs or a bag of chips for their kid, you know? And that is where we are right now.
And Dr. von Biedenfeld, what do you see looking at the economy, looking at America as the mitigating factor for those who are concerned and overthinking and concerned about their income and survival?
Well, one of the challenges right now is we have a lot of uncertainty. We've talked about the hyperpartisanship, and while more than 50% of people are concerned about their financial health impacting their mental health, guess what? The state of the current affairs is also affecting more than 40% of people. That's what they attribute. So there's a lot of uncertainty. 10 times we've seen Fed rate hikes. That impacts middle and lower class people much more because you've got to finance that car repair. You don't just go in and pay cash for the new muffler. And why are you getting a new muffler not under warranty? Because you couldn't afford or have the good credit to get a new car in the first place. And so we mentioned demographics. We know that this affects people of color a lot more. It affects women a lot more, with 82 cents on the dollar on the high end, 53 cents to the dollar per men in certain demographics and communities. And all of that compounds to create a really stressful situation where I don't know that the increase of supply of new cars, that increasing inventory post-COVID, is really helping people. I don't know that the diminishment of the egg price is really helping people as much when you see the prime rate at over 8%, right? That's the best lending rate for borrowers, is over 8%.
And Saudi attorney, how do you deal with this mentally without overwhelming yourself and driving yourself in a place where there's no return?
Yeah, and it's a really challenging situation, like everybody said, and everybody's feeling it, right? And there's a real life challenge, like we're in survival mode. But it's almost counterintuitive what we have to do to be able to dig ourselves out of this hole, because the worst thing that you can do when you are having money problems is focus solely on the problem. Because that's going to send us into more of a survival mode. We're not going to be able to come up with creative ways to think of how to bring in more money, or creative ways to save money, or even the resources that we have within ourselves to maybe start a new business or do something else to generate money when we are stuck in tunnel vision, survival mode. So we have to be able to take those moments and find one small thing to be grateful for, and not only be grateful for, feel grateful for, take time away from the problem so that our mind can come back online and we can think of creative solutions to our financial problems.
And Layla, do you do that? Do you take a break from looking at the money problems and say, in our last 30 seconds we have here?
Absolutely. I mean, there were times when I used to just plan out what country I'm going to travel to for the year. Now I'm like, let me just make sure all my bills are covered first. Priorities are priorities. And now a lot of the fun that I used to give myself, because I consider it a gift, I have to kind of put on the back burner or just take it later or go to Cancun where everybody else is going. I don't know.
Just don't get kidnapped.
They'll take me back.
We'll come looking for your ass.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored.